Welcome to Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the podcast dedicated to the commercial food equipment repair industry. My name is Pat Finley. I'm a lead master certified technician at General Parts Group and a certified Sofesa trainer. My goal is to shine a light on what I believe to be one of the most interesting and rewarding industries a field service technician can work in. I love the work I do, and I'm glad you're here listening to this podcast. In this episode, I talk with Brent Ridley from the Tool Pros podcast. What's up, everybody? Tonight I got a special guest on. I have Brent Ridley from Tool Pros podcast, Plumbing School podcast, Miracle Mechanical, all kinds of stuff. So I appreciate Brent taking some time and coming on tonight. Brent has been a huge asset to me. He's helped me out with some podcast stuff. I've been a huge fan of his for years, and I finally got the honor to meet him at the RLS booth at AHR last year, and I bug him all the time ever since then. So thanks for coming on, Brent.
No, thanks, Pat. I appreciate you having me on your podcast, man. It's been a great ride to see you start this podcast, and I've been enjoying the weekly episodes that you've been having with it. It's been fantastic, and thanks for having me here. I'm gonna have a good time, I think.
Yeah, we should have a good time. The main reason I wanted to bring you on is just talk about what you do for the trade. So you started off as you didn't want to be in trades, or how'd that start out? Just you want to give a story about how you got involved? I know you told it 1,000 times, but
Yeah, no. So yeah, growing up, I guess like anybody our age, Pat, we were pushed into go to college. And my parents were huge on college. You need to go to college. Even though my dad was a plumber, he did not want that life for me. He said, son, I work really hard. I don't want you to have to work as hard as I do, which makes sense. I get it. He says, go find something, use your brain, don't use your back. So he pushed me to go to college. And I started doing HVAC when I was a senior in high school in the summertime. My girlfriend's dad at the time owned a company. So I started doing HVAC. And to be honest, I was doing commercial ductwork and I hated it. I hated it, every bit of it. It was terrible. So I said, okay, I've gotten my feel of this. You know what? I am going to go to college. So I went to college for 2 semesters and flunked out because I was terrible. Couldn't pay attention. Had issues. So at that point, I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I'll go back to HVAC, but I'll try service stuff. That's what I'm going to do. And that's exactly what I did. I went back to HVAC and I tried service, and I really fell in love with the service and the diagnostic part of things. And ever since then, I've been in the trade, 18 years now. I love it. And, I wouldn't trade it for the world. This HVAC has really provided a great life for myself and my family. And even, we've expanded into plumbing, and I do have my plumbing license now. So I'm learning the whole plumbing trade, figuring all that stuff out. But it's been a great little ride, and I'm thankful that I kind of just fell into it.
Yeah, I had the same thing. When I was in school, they were pushing college, and I barely made it through high school. I mean, there was days we had a block 8 schedule, so we did 4 classes one day, 4 the next day, and I had it figured out that I did vocational in the morning, so I was taking electrical classes for two class periods, and then in the afternoon I had a mandatory class, and I made sure I had it for third period each day. And then the fourth period I had study halls, and I'd just leave. I'd check into my third period, I'd get my homework, turn my stuff in, and I'd just leave. I'd go. My father, he did HVAC and then transitioned into what I do, commercial side, and I didn't want to do it, so I started off as an electrician, and I did it for years. Was union, non-union. Eventually, I got sick of being non-union and doing apartments every day, seeing the same apartment over and over and over. And then I transitioned over into what I do now, and I just keep growing and keep picking up more and learning more. So, I mean, there's plenty of opportunities out there that don't involve going to college, and I just try to highlight that. I mean, I make a lot of money, and I have a lot of fun doing what I do. And I still take classes, but it's not 4 years of walking around the campus or anything. So, I mean, there's things to there's some things that you do have to go to college. I'm not knocking it; it's just it wasn't for me. So, and there's plenty of other guys out there like us that can't focus or don't want to sit in a classroom all day, and it's a great fit. So, I really.
And I was always under the impression, and it was just, and that was just my household that I was less than because I didn't go to college. So my brother went to college, and I didn't. I always felt like I was the redheaded stepchild because of that. So it's like, I feel like now I have this kind of chip on my shoulder to try to be an advocate for the trade and to show folks and show young kids that there is so much more than just college. And that's fine if college is your thing, but that the skilled trade will offer a fantastic, fantastic lifestyle for you and your family if you really put your mind to it and that's something you want to do.
Yeah. So I go to a lot of the community colleges that have the HVAC program. I go to there and I'll show what we do on our side of it, the restaurant side of it. But I mean, there's plenty of schools out there for HVAC or plumbing or some other things, that will teach these kids a valuable lesson, and they can go that way if they want to go, or I'm a believer that, hey, how about you come work in the field for a little bit first and see if you're going to like it before you spend the money and go to a trade school and sit there for 2 years or however long it takes and get your whatever degree you get and come out and go work and decide, well, this isn't for me. So, I mean, there's a million different paths into the trades, but I'm just trying to show it to everybody I can. My goal is eventually, once I get enough traction, is to get a bunch of guys, plumbers, HVAC, people like me, and make a video and just let's get some pretty good production behind it, make a video showing everything we do, and just blast it out to all the trade schools we can across the country. I mean, whether that ever happens or not, but that's just a goal I'd like to see in the next, 3 to 5 years, probably.
No, that'd be fantastic. Absolutely. I like that idea. That's a great idea. And if I can help you in any way, let me know. We'll see what we can do. I really dig that. And, they're even teaching now. They're doing like high school programs for teaching the trades. And speaking of that, we're doing something with the AHR Expo coming up. We're actually going to do it at the beginning of November. So the beginning of next month, we're going out to the Atlanta College and Career Academy, and we're going to put in two HVAC training units for them. And this is a high school. So these kids go half of their class, they go to regular class, math and social studies and all that science, whatever. And then the other half of the day, they get to pick a trade and get to learn it. There's welding, there was aviation, there's HVAC, I think there was carpentry. So it was just a really cool opportunity. I'm excited to work with them, but it's exciting to know that things like that out there existed, because I felt like, at least where I lived at the time was a small town, there was nothing anywhere close to that when I was coming up.
Yeah, we had a vocational school. That's what I did. I did electrical, but there was a carpentry side, there was electrical side. There wasn't a plumbing or an HVAC side, but we'd actually build a house every year, and I think they sold it pretty low cost just to fund next year's project. But we'd build a house every year. They'd frame it. They'd have a block guys. In high school.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, so I wired 2 houses in high school, and then I also took care of the building maintenance, just like changing ballast and that kind of stuff, which was kind of wasn't the best idea for having high school kids doing that, but we learned pretty fast. But yeah, we had a pretty good vocational school, and it's the ones in Indiana have all changed over, and most of them are ran by college programs now, so they actually offer college courses in there, and the high school seniors can take classes in there too. So it's still available in my area at least, so it's good to see.
Absolutely. No, that's killer. For high school, it's, that's great that you can show different paths besides just college.
Have you heard anything or seen anything with Skills USA?
So I've seen it. I don't know a whole lot about it. I've just seen it here and there on social media and things like that. I don't know. Do you know a little bit about that?
Well, I was trying to go and help out a fellow trainer for Cefesa. They do an appliance side, and they're trying to push the restaurant side even more. But it's a pretty good opportunity for college, like when I say college, but trade school, adult trade school, and high school trade school students to get involved and learn trades. And they have local competitions, they go to state competitions, and eventually they make their way to a national competition. And it's a pretty cool opportunity. But they do everything. They do anything from dog grooming to hair cutting. And it even involves all the trades too. So it's kind of crazy. They cook. I mean, just whatever they want to specialize in, there's an opportunity for them to showcase that. So I think it was in Atlanta last year was the finals. I'm not sure where it is next year, but I was hoping to get involved in that a little more next year and just kind of spread the word of what, the trades and everything else. But
yeah, I think Brian Orr with HVAC school, he was doing some stuff with them, was a judge or something with them a few years back, if I recall.
That wasn't surprising, Brian, man. He's a smart guy.
For sure. Dude's on it, man. He's been great for HVAC education and things like that. And, there's Craig Migiano. I don't know. I can't ever say his last name.
I can't ever say it either.
But they're guys, they're great like that.
I stumbled across him late. Like, I didn't realize who he was or what he did. And last year I was looking for videos when I was putting together some stuff for Cefesa. for some refrigeration class on some brazing and some techniques and stuff, and I stumbled across his stuff, and I was like, I got lost in a wormhole for like a day just like watching all his videos. I was like, this guy is good. And then I started following him on all social media and stuff. I'm like, this guy, he's pretty good. I can't say his last name to save my life, but
It came out of nowhere. Like, I was, I've been super involved in the HVAC, I guess, social media side of things for a very long time. Like, I was before the heyday of Facebook and things like that. When I first got in the trade, there was a website called HVACtalk.com, and it was a forum style website. And I was huge on there, writing every day, because what I'd do is I'd go out and I was doing like commercial work, and I was doing commercial maintenances and things like that, and I'd run across problems. So that night I'd come down home and I'd get down on my laptop and I'd start writing on HVAC Talk. I'd want to write, hey, I ran into this today. What is this? I'm young, I don't know. And also, there was a lot of buttholes on there, just like you have on every kind of platform. But there was a lot of great information, and so we started doing that and really started picking it up. And then I've started doing tool reviews on the forum and things like that, and then that's kind of just bled over. But I've kind of been following the social media side of things is what I'm kind of getting at here. I've been following HVAC social media, with Facebook, and then I started doing Instagram and YouTube and things like that. But Craig, with the HVAC service tech, he just popped out of nowhere one day, and the dude that had like 200,000 followers, and I was like, holy moly, why have I missed this guy?
yeah, his stuff's phenomenal, man. He's detailed. He's exactly how it should be, and he does a really good job. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
love his stuff, man. It was a great find, that's for sure. And when I teach the Fest refrigeration, I give the guys links. I give them, hey, check out this YouTube channel, your YouTube channel, anyone that I feel is an asset to the trades in general. I'm like, hey, check these guys out, listen to this kind of stuff. So I try to promote everyone else's stuff too. It's just there's so much information out there, but you just got to make sure you have a trusted source. Like I trust him, I trust you, I trust HVACR videos and those guys. But there's a lot of other guys out there I don't know yet, or haven't met, or haven't stumbled across their stuff. But there's tons of content out there. You just got to make sure that they're telling you right and they're instructing you right. I mean, it's just a gamble, I guess.
absolutely. But a lot of it's just common sense. Does that sound right? Okay, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's got, like, I guess, Gil Cavey, he's with the HVAC Uncensored podcast. He's a super nice guy. He says if you don't know, it's because you don't want to know, and that's the truth. And because now you have so much of this information at your fingertips, and you can find it within minutes of a search. The other day, my guy called me. He says, "Hey, I'm on this Daikin rooftop unit. I got the blower's running, but the compressor's not. I think something's going on with the economizer." I said, "All right, what kind of economizer is?" He said, "It's a Honeywell control, this and that." I pulled over in the church parking lot. I looked up that Honeywell economizer in literally 30 seconds. I just Googled it. It pulled it up. I found the manual. I called him back and I said, "Hey, change this setting to this, change this setting to this." He did. The unit fired right up just like that. So that's what I'm saying. These kind of information is super available to you. So if you want it, it's out there to get.
Yeah, the internet has been a blessing, man, and a curse, but a blessing mainly. I learned hard about the trolls. I when I first had my first troll, I wanted to delete it, and everyone's like, "Just leave it there. It's driving attention. Just leave it there." I want to interact, but my guy I deal with for social media and stuff through my company, he's like, if you're going to interact positively. Don't ever interact negatively. He said, that's what they want. He said, just like when you interact with a customer and the customer's cranky and they're yelling at you, don't go back negative because that's what they want. Go back positive, and generally it changes the whole interaction. So most of the time I just ignore it, or I like, go, sorry, sorry you feel that way. But it's the internet's definitely a crazy thing.
Oh yeah, as you're putting your stuff out, you're putting out your podcast and putting out all kind of content on social media now. Yeah, those trolls are going to come and they're going to be out there. I get them every single day, over and over and over again. And as long as they're not cursing and calling names, I'll leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
But when they start cursing, calling names, it's just a simple block, and that's all there is to it. There's no more interaction at that point. I'm not going to talk to you if you're going to go that way.
Yeah, I've got the same four people. I think it's the same four people that thumbs down every one of my videos on YouTube, and I just laugh. I'm like, whatever. You're still helping me one way or the other. So
It's still content. It's still interaction with the algorithm, so it doesn't matter. YouTube still sees it the same way.
so you also do a pretty cool thing with this Miracle Mechanical. Um, I don't think it really gets the attention it deserves. I know you've had how many episodes you had out now? 4, 3?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got 4 episodes so far.
So that's a pretty cool project. So you help out needy people, families, and you just want to explain what you guys do with that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. It's kind of a passion project. I thought about over, I guess, 2 years ago. So I guess 2021, beginning of 2021, I was talking to my wife, and we had grown I had grown the Instagram, and it was popping off, and it's nice, and we were doing the tool review thing, and after you get your 15th impact drill, it's like, okay, this is great. I like this. It's fun, but okay, I've done this song and dance many times over. Let's do something different.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, let me take these relationships that I have with these companies, and let's see if we can get some money from them so we can sponsor some projects and we can do heating and air conditioning repair for people who need it, like absolutely need it. People who are down on their luck, elderly, veterans, whatever the situation may be that they can't afford to do it themselves. Let's go in there and do this stuff for free for them. And it's worked out beautifully so far. Rigid, much props to them, because I went to Rigid with just an idea and a hope, and they were like, "Yeah, we got you, no problem." And they were like, "What do you need?" I was like, "Well, I need some money." And they were like, "Okay, we got you." And it worked out really good. And ever since then, we've been able to bring in different sponsors and things like that. So we do plumbing and heating and air conditioning because that's what I have a license in. I'm not going to step out of my comfort zone quite yet, unless I can find somebody else to partner with who can help me with maybe electrical issues or things like that. And that may be in the future. But we, the first project we did was a guy. He was in an accident because he had got laid off for COVID, and he was working double or triple jobs, and he was doing food delivery and doing all kind of different stuff. And I think he said he was on his way home one day from one of his jobs, and he fell asleep behind the wheel and had an accident. At that point, he was bedridden. He could not provide for his family. His family was in really, really dire straits at that point. And then they had a issue with a sewage backup in the house. So he had a problem with his septic tank. So we went in, we fixed the septic tank issue. We found a leaking water heater, fixed his water heater, things like that. The second project we did was a fantastic lady in the mountains here. She had some terrible, terrible drinking water. Odie helped us with that one. We She had a well system, and the water was literally orange. It was staining all the fixtures orange and things like that. So we went in, we put her in a hydrogen peroxide fused water filtration system, and it's worked out really well for her so far. All she's got to do is fill that thing up like once every 6 months, and she's got nice crystal clean water. Like, her water was so bad that she called me after we fixed it, and she says, "Hey, what's going on with my washing machine?" I said, "I don't know. What do you mean?" She says, "I can't get any water come out of it." I said, "Okay, hold on. I'll be up there in a little bit." So it was like it's an hour drive. So I drove all stopped what I did, drove all the way up there, and literally the inlet of her washing machine was clogged with mud and dirt and debris. Like, that was that bad. She was having it that bad.
That's
And
crazy.
yeah, so we took care of her. Then we also took care of a lady with she had a furnace. She was a widowed lady. She had a furnace that had really bad cracks in the heat exchanger. 30, 40-year-old furnace. It was really bad for her. It was causing some health issues. She said she was getting dizzy and not feeling good and all kind of stuff like that. And we traced it back to that. And then the last one we did was a lady who had galvanized plumbing, and all of her drinking water was contaminated, and she didn't have any water pressure. So we repiped her whole house. Vega helped us with that one, and then Lowe's helped us with the furnace one. Vega helped us with the piping of the house. So I feel like we've been fortunate enough to help 4 people so far. We got 2 more projects on the docket here coming up. Like I say, RLS is sponsoring another one. We're going to I was talking with Patrick right before we started coming on live here. We're going to help out a lady. Unfortunately, it's an elderly lady with dementia, and her mom has moved in with her. And so they can't really afford to do much because they're on a really set income. and the furnace and the air conditioning for the upstairs has gone bad. The dryer doesn't work. The backyard is completely overgrown. So we're going to see if we can help them with at least those three things. I find it very. I have to control myself because what I do is I go in there and I see these things because she's got an older furnace and air conditioning on the first floor, and it's in bad shape too. And I kind of want to change it out too, but there's only a set budget for the whole project. So you want to do a far above and beyond as much as you can, but you only got a certain amount of money for the project, and it is what it is. But we're gonna help them out, and so yeah, that lady, I think we're gonna help her out at the end of October, and then we got the ACA, which I talked about earlier with AHR. That's gonna be at the beginning of November. So we're doing some awesome things with the Miracle Mechanical Project. I know I've been long winded about this here a little bit, but I love it. I'm passionate about it. I think if we can just get it in front of more people, we can get more sponsors on board. And now I know outside looking in, you say, well, look, well, what do you mean? You're putting the spotlight on this. You're filming this, and you're making a social media piece out of it. Absolutely, we are, because that's what we're having to do to order to squeeze these other companies, get some
Mhm.
money out of them to do it in the future. And these people understand that they're going to be filmed. It's not like I'm surprising anybody, and we're trying to do everything very respectfully. But that's what we have to do because the company, let's call it what it is. The companies get a little bit of a nice marketing piece out of it. We get to help needy families out of it. The family gets some things for free, and it works out well for everybody in the long run. But I'm excited. I want, like I say, I want to share the word as much as possible, and maybe get more people on board as much as we can. And I'll hopefully next year. So this year we'll have done 4 projects. Hopefully next year we'll do 6 projects and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a really great thing you're doing for a lot of people that deserving people too. I mean, you guys do it right. You go in, you talk to them, and you make sure you guys do your homework, and that's really cool. It's awesome. All these companies have stepped up and help out, and I get it. You're recording it, but you're using it to promote what you're doing and the sponsors. So it's twofold. So it's worth it. I mean, it really is. Like you said, if you get out to more people, the more exposure, the better off it's going to be. So I try to share it every time I see it. Sometimes it gets buried in the algorithm, and that's a nightmare. So anytime you see something, anytime you're going to post something, let me know, and I'll make sure I go find it and I share it for you and get it
Oh,
out there.
they do. They like some reason like they'll bury the fool out of it, man. Sometimes like the last one that we did pretty good on Instagram, but on YouTube it's got like 400 views. That's it. Like it's like what in the world? And we got like 35,000 followers on YouTube. Like why do we have 400 views? Because they suppressed it for whatever reason, and I don't know. But that's okay, and that's not what we're doing it for at the end of the day. But um, I'm excited. Like I say, there's a lot of companies that are stepping up to the plate. It's huge, huge that they are, and beyond my wildest recognition that wildest recognition, that's probably not the word that I'm looking for here. My wildest imaginations that they would step up, and that we've had this many companies step up. We've had more companies interest in doing future projects and things like that. But it's been great, and I'm very much thankful for it.
If I had residential experience, I'd come down and help out for one.
Well, that's what I want to do. Like the whole main goal, and I've been talking about this since the very beginning, is to get enough money raised where we can travel around. Like
Yeah,
I'd like to find with you, I'd like to find like a mom and pop restaurant who needs like a makeover in the back, like
yeah,
their oven and their stove and their cooktop is just terrible shape, and we can come in and redo some of that stuff for them, and just completely turn things upside down for them, and help them go forward. And that's just things I think about. But I'd love to travel all over and help people all over. But right now our budget's allowing us to stay here.
oh,
But I'm just if we continue to grow, that would be my goal.
yeah. It was good seeing Colton come out and help him at Project Viega. I mean, that guy's an asset, man. He blew up pretty fast too. He's a good guy. I talk to him all the time. It's amazing the friendships you meet just from social media. I mean, people I never met that I talk to all the time. And, I got a chance to meet you and a lot of the other people at AHR, and I highly recommend to anybody if you want to go to AHR, do it. I mean, it's a blast.
Yeah, it's the people. I love the. Don't get me wrong. I love the new tools, and I love seeing new technology, and I love seeing all this other stuff. but far, far beyond all that is the people. Meeting people like you last year, Pat, was fantastic. And then seeing friends and seeing people that you see year in year, every single year, it's awesome. And that way, I'll continue to go every single year just for that reason in itself. Um, and yeah, speaking of vegan and Colton, yeah, it was cool that they wanted to come out. They were one of the only sponsors who were like, "Hey, can we come?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, come on, let's go." So Colton and Becca, who's their awesome PR lady, they came out and we had a great time. And Colton, I'll be honest with you. So Colton was on the job and he told me he's coming. So I was like, all right, I don't know how this is going to go. Is this guy just going to like get in the way? Like, is he just going to take up space and then kind of, act like he's doing something but not really do anything? But no, the dude got to work, man. He jumped up in the crawl space part like it was a 2-part basement, had like a nice stand up basement. And then there was a little small crawl spot for the other little section of the house. He jumped up in the crawl spot. We got all muddy and everything before I could even notice it. Man, he was awesome, and it was great. And it was great that they came out to help out with the projects and whatnot.
Yeah, I think he takes some heat just for all his social media stuff. He's always in his little lab doing stuff. I think he takes a lot of heat for it. People don't think he's a real plumber, pipe fitter, but he really is. I mean, he started off, he caught a break, and he's doing something different, and he loves it. So he still loves putting in work though. You'll see him do some stuff on the side, help people out. So that's good that he was out there. So
Yeah, it worked out great, really well, and I think it's created a little pattern because for the AHR Miracle Mechanical Project, there's a head lady over there. Her name's Nicole Bush.
yep.
She's a fantastic, fantastic woman. She's going to come out for that project. So she's coming to Atlanta, and we're going to have to entertain her and wine her and dine her, and it'll be fun. And I think it'll be cool.
I can't wait to meet Nicole. Like he handles most of the social media stuff for him, correct?
Yep, all of it. Yep.
Yeah, so I made a post. They had the lineup for all the podcast affiliate stuff, and I didn't realize it'd book out that fast. And I was talking to Gil, and Gil's like, "Yeah," because Gil reached out to her. He said, "Yeah, it's already full." So they had that announcement last week where they announced who was all there, and I shared it on my story, I think, and I tagged them. I said, "Next year I'll be there," and she messaged me. She goes, "You have a podcast?" I was like, "Yeah." I told her what I do and the premise of it and everything. Told her I was just getting started. And she goes, "Well, I have one spot open on Wednesday from like 2:30 to 3:30," and I was like, "I'll take it. I don't care. I don't care what day it is. I don't care if there's nobody left in the building. I'm doing it." So
that's awesome, man. That's killer, bro. I'm glad you're going to be there up on the podcast pavilion. That's awesome.
yeah, Gil said he'd have me on his. He's like, "If you want, I'll give you one of mine. I don't care." He's like, "You got to do it." I was like, "I'll at least come on, hang out with you on at least one of his." So, but I look forward to it. It's I was trying to get um, NRA, which is National Restaurant Association. They have a huge show every year in Chicago, and I was telling them, I was like, "Hey, you guys need to do this." I said, "You can link up, service companies, manufacturers, or whatever, and you could probably get some traction from it." But I didn't hear back, so we'll see if they do anything with it. They probably won't.
AHR is a breed in itself, and Nicole makes it the best.
Yeah,
the best trade show to go to, without a doubt. Like, and I'm not talking trash. It just is what it is. Some of the others cannot compare at all. But no, I'm glad that you're going to be going to the podcast pavilion, and it does fill up super fast. She sends out these invites to go to the podcast pavilion, and then she'll send out like a Google Doc. And the last couple of years, she'll send out the Google document, and she'll send it out in the morning time. And by that afternoon, that joker's full. It's like, holy moly, man! Like, I ain't even had time to look at this thing.
Yeah, there's some stiff competition on there. I mean, Trevor's going to be on there, so there's some new people on there, and I'm just excited. I don't care if I was the last slot of the entire 3 days. I didn't care. I had to do it, so I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an experience. I told my wife, she was booking our room, and she thought about doing something on the way back because I think we were going to drive down, and I was like, well, we can stop in Gatlinburg on the way back, for a few days. We like going to Gatlinburg. I see you guys do too, but
Oh yeah.
So I was like, she's like, well, we can leave Wednesday. I was like, we can't leave Wednesday. I said, I'm not sure what's going on. I said, I may, have something to do on Wednesday. And sure enough, it came through. So I think we're going to leave Thursday morning and head up north and do something.
And I'll tell you a secret, man. Wednesday is one of the best days of the show because everybody's packing up. So a lot of these samples that some of these booths bring with them, they don't want to take them back with them. So you'll end up with a lot of goodies that last day if you hang around and just ask some questions here and there.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, it was a blast just seeing all the crazy tools. I had no idea half these tools are out there. That's why I seen all the rim stuff, and I was pretty impressed with all their tools. And the rigid booth, the climb booth, and all those booths. I made multiple visits to. It was an absolute blast. So I tell anybody, if you're thinking about going, stop thinking, just do it.
Yeah, and I think this year, obviously, hopefully, will be well. This coming year, it's actually in February, will be better because it's not COVID times anymore. I guess that's kind of come and gone. I guess so. Hopefully, we'll have a better turnout, have more booths, and all kind of good stuff.
Yeah, it's right in your backyard. So
It is. It's right in my backyard in Atlanta. So we got something cool planned. I'm trying to plan out something really awesome. It's not a party. We thought about doing parties, but there's so many like after parties for these events.
yeah, it gets
Every company is having a party. So it's like, no, we're not doing a party. Like, but we're gonna do something really cool. I'm trying to put that together right now, and I think it'll be kind of cool. It's gonna deal with something at the show. Kind of an interactive deal. So hopefully we'll be able to put the pieces together and be kind of cool.
nice, nice. I won't keep you too much longer. You just want to plug everybody, where they can find you, and I'll let you get out of here, I guess.
Yeah. No, I don't mind, man. We can talk forever, no problem at all. But you can find us at Tool Pros on Instagram, YouTube, um, TikTok, all that good stuff. And then also you can follow Miracle Mechanical on Instagram. And Plumbing School is on Instagram also. And Plumbing School is also a podcast. I forgot Tool Pros also has a podcast, weekly podcast. We've been doing it for like 5 years. So there's a million episodes. So go listen to all of them, binge them. Let me know how you'd like them. And leave us a review on them. That'd be cool too.
Yeah, I need to get better about asking for reviews and everything else. It's a learning curve, man. It's definitely different, and like I said earlier, it's consistency is the key, and I'm anything but consistent when it comes to this. Now, work, I'm consistent as can be.
You've been crushing it though, man. You've been doing great.
Yeah, everyone's like, "What are your views? What are what are your downloads?" I was like, I refuse to look at them. So
That's okay, man. That's you got to start somewhere, and you start promoting and start pushing it out there, and you're doing the right thing. And I think you're getting heck, man. You got a much better start than I did. I think so. You'll be doing good.
well, I've had a lot of good help from you, Gil, and a lot of other people. And there's a lot of other guys that they come on. I just gotta get it scheduled and work it around my work. So, but I won't keep you no long, I won't keep you any longer. I just want to say thanks for coming on, and I hope you have a good night, man.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me on. And anytime, let's invite me back on, and we'll talk some more, brother.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, bye.